Yo, check it. All right, what is up? We're going to be looking at the recent market news for GME, the overall stock market, what is happening in the overall U.S. economy. We're also going to be looking at possible price targets for AMC stock. I do believe we're going to see more downside. I'm going to talk about where I think the bottom is and why I believe that. And we're going to be looking at the charts, facts, and data. Let's not waste any more time and hop in. Let's go. All right, fam, what is up? You are back. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. Yes, I know I didn't live stream today. We missed the first day of a live stream in about a year. I've been streaming every single day for about a year, not missing one single day. So yes, we did miss a day, taking a little bit of a break, but I will start live streaming again, so do not be worried. Probably even have a live stream for you guys tomorrow. We're just taking a little bit of time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, and data with this video and show you guys what's going on. I know a lot of people were upset about AMC's price action today, and they were in the comments crying about their investment as usual, but that's fine. I can let people voice their opinions. It's all good. Nothing here is financial advice. I simply put out the charts, facts, and data as I see them with my opinion. So let's go ahead and hop in and show you all what's going on. I do want to cover some news real quick though. So there's a couple things going on that happened just today. So China has turned on the money printers. China is right now in act bailing out the economy. They're stimulating the economy. They're even giving money for people to buy stocks. And we can see that some stocks have been up, especially Chinese stocks, and Bitcoin is slightly rising as well. I believe that some people are actually using some of that money to buy Bitcoin, but China is turning on the money printers. And that is important to be aware of because everything is interconnected in this global market. So that's something to be aware of and something you want to know for the overall economy and stock market. Now, I want to show you something else that has come out in an article about GME, that they added a hefty cash position. Obviously, they just finished that at-the-money offering. So they have even more cash in that huge cash war chest for GME stock. So GME stock is sitting on a ton of cash in the bank. And then this is more unrelated news, but just be aware, everybody. Just be aware. Something big might be coming for the election. Now, I know that's vague, but we have lawmakers planning for the possibility of a mass casualty event. Again, I'm not here to scare anybody. I just want people to be informed and prepared if anything were to occur. And that's why I try to put this information out there. So let's go ahead and move into what's going on as far as the technicals and charts are concerned. Let's go ahead and look at cost to borrow for AMC. Short shares available to borrow. You can see that it seems like they're getting very, very low with liquidity. Very few shares available to borrow as they continually seem to be running low on these shares, even for GameStop. Now you can see that they were low throughout the day, only getting about 1 million shares when they had up to about 4 million shares. So even GameStop running low, they have a little bit more for GameStop because cost to borrow is lower for GameStop. Cost to borrow for GameStop right now sitting at about, we'll go ahead and pull it up for you guys real quick on GME cost to borrow. GME cost to borrow is sitting at about 0.42% right now. We want to see that cost to borrow go up. AMC cost to borrow is sitting at about 1.27%. Now, I believe the seeing of the cost of borrow slowly come to the downside is why we also seen price slowly come to the downside. I do believe that liquidity is drying up and we should see a spike in cost of borrow here soon. But if you see the cost of borrow continually coming down, that means price is eventually going to come down with it. Cost of borrow is directly related to price action on the meme stocks because of how the meme stocks work, how liquidity works, and how these plays are structured in the algorithm involved in these plays. So cost of borrow is very important to notice, and you've seen cost of borrow drop down a lot, and that's why I believe that we've had this recent pullback. You can see that we actually had cost of borrow drop down significantly. It's slowly starting to come back up, so I believe that cost of borrow might be bottoming, and we'll start seeing it come back up, and that means price will recover. Now, I'm going to get to this in the AMC section as well. RSI is extremely oversold. There's a ton of things that saying AMC will bounce, but I know a lot of people are disappointed with AMC's price action right now, but you got to take the good with the bad. You got to take the pullbacks to get the pumps. Now, here's what's going on for GME as far as technicals are concerned and what I'm expecting to happen. You can see GME is forming this overall double bottom, bottom 1 and then bottom 2. That should give us a bounce to the upside, but right now we are losing momentum. RSI is extremely hot. You can see that RSI is finally starting to cool down slightly. But we have this massive bearish divergence here on the 2-hour time frame. You can see price clearly trending up, RSI clearly trending down, and this bearish divergence is going to play out. You can see that we're actually getting red MACD now. So if you still are in that play from the Discord that I talked about, the $22 call options, you might want to look at start taking profits. I know those call options did extremely well, especially when GME started to run up. And you guys did really well on that. If you want to get in the Discord, hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5. It's linked in the description and comment section of this video. Just hit me up and ask about it. And I'll give you payment information. Once you make payment, I'll send you the link. It's easy as that to get in. But you can see that we're starting to get red MACD. We have this bearish divergence. So GME most likely is going to correct. It's probably going to correct tomorrow and start moving back down towards 2150. I want to see if we can continue to hold 2150. We might even come back down as low as 22 or 2044. So do expect that potential pullback here for GME stock. Now that we do have bearish divergence, you could see price drift to the upside, but I think we're actually starting to lose a little bit momentum. We're going to see that correction to the downside, fix this bearish divergence as we correct, and then we can start moving back to the upside. And again, we could move as low as 2044, okay? So do not be surprised if you see GameStop start to pull back either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And again, I'll be making videos, making sure you guys are good. And if everybody's in the Discord, all of you guys in the Discord, you already know that I'm posting. I'm always taking care of, especially the Discord members. Even when I'm not online, I'm making sure you guys are informed, especially because you paid for that Discord. So this is what I'm looking at for GME stock as far as what's going to be happening throughout the rest of this week. I still think we're on track for that green week. I think we just need to pull back, let the RSI cool down. You can see that RSI is finally starting to cool down here on some of these higher time frames, but we were running extremely hot. We were outside of the bands, and I'm thinking that we're going to see a nice healthy pullback here for GME stock and then continue to the upside to fill the rest of this gap. You can see that we still have this gap filled to the upside, which is going to be filled, and I think that's going to help us play out this bigger macro double bottom. So you can see that if I were to draw a line here, bottom 1, then you got this huge bounce, then bottom 2, and I think that's actually going to play out and sending us back to $30. Again, this is on the macro, so it will take time, days, weeks for it to play out, but I believe we're actually going to start moving back to the upside for GME, and that's going to help AMC start to move back to the upside. What I'm expecting to see tomorrow is a possible pullback towards the levels of about 22.25 or 22.04. If we can hold those levels as support, you could see a little bit more movement to the upside. But based off everything I'm seeing here, it looks like the bearish divergence is ready to start making the stock flatten out, and then it will correct to the downside. It will find a bottom, and then I think we're going to continue back to the upside. So this is what I'm looking at for GME. Things do look promising, especially with the huge cash pile. Again, fundamentals are improving. I think things are looking good for GME, and if we get the overall market capitulation later down the road, that could really truly help bring the shorts to their knees. Now we have crazy things going on over in the Middle East. Make sure you guys are paying attention to that because it is going to affect the stock market. A lot of people, that's not really on their radar and they think that it's not concerning, but things are escalating quickly, and there are even rumors that politicians, this is just alleged, want to actually go to war before the election starts. Again, this is why I'm saying that there's something big going to happen before the election, possibly, so I want people to be aware of that. But this is what I'm looking at for GME stock. Let's go ahead and move into AMC and show y'all what's going on for AMC and what I'm expecting for AMC. Again, I know people are disappointed with the current price action right now, but AMC is extremely extremely oversold right now. If you go ahead and look at the 4-hour time frame, we're finally getting into that oversold territory. If we go into smaller time frames, you're getting into that oversold territory. If you go ahead and pop on the Bollinger Bands, you can see that we're starting to get outside of the bands, and this is where buyers will start to step in. When you get that oversold territory, you're far outside the bands, that means far too much selling is going on. Also, we still do have these buy orders here for AMC stock, and those buy orders are going to be used as liquidity, and I believe that they're trying to run it down towards this 441 range. So I believe that is going to be the low where we bounce around 441, 445. I think that's going to be where we start to bounce. I believe that they want to run it down and get all of this liquidity before seeing the stock bounce to the upside. Now, we still have this falling wedge in play as well, and that could easily lead us to having a bounce to the upside. But ultimately, I'm not worried about AMC. I know people are getting really, really worried right now and thinking that it's actually about to break down out of this range. What I'm thinking is actually happening. It's getting close to its bottom. It is going to recover. It just needs to find its bottom, and I think the bottom is going to be around that $4.41 in my personal opinion. So don't be surprised if you see AMC have a little bit more downside before a bounce back to the upside, but I believe we are setting up for a bounce back to the upside, especially if GameStop can maintain its momentum. I believe that GameStop is actually getting ready for a little bit of pullback, but that continuation to the upside will help AMC bounce, and I believe that the bounces will probably occur around that. I think that GameStop's going to pull back, then continue up, and then when GameStop starts to continue up, that's going to be around the time that AMC starts to bounce. But AMC is starting to get to that very, very oversold territory. I believe we're going to get close to finding a bottom and then getting a nice pop back to the upside. And remember those levels I gave you to look at as where the bottom could potentially be. So this is what I'm looking at for AMC. Again, shares available to short are getting low. It seems like liquidity is drying up. In fact, it seems like liquidity is drying up for the entire market. And I believe that if we do see some type of black swan event, possibly the event that could come before the election. Again, this is still speculative territory. I don't really have anything solid to point to or saying this is what's going to happen. Being very, very open and transparent about that. But it does seem like there's a lot of moving parts going on right now. And if we did see a big correction in the stock market, that could be exactly what we need to bring the short sellers to their knees. Margin calls start coming in, and those positions that they use for AMC and GME short position collateral will start to devalue, and then also margin calls would have to come in as well, and that's when we could see the stock actually skyrocket, especially if liquidity starts to dry up. So I am hopeful for AMC. I do think we're going to see a little bit more downside before a bounce to the upside. I want to see that cost to borrow also go up as well, but I think cost to borrow is getting to the point where it's going to start bottoming out and start trending to the upside, and that's maybe even what we're seeing right now. You can see we had this drop down, flattened, and we're starting to move up. So we want to watch that. Let's see if cost of borrow starts to go back up, and then price will definitely start to go back up. But I believe that AMC is getting close to its bottom. I believe we'll probably come down to about $4.40, $4.41 around that range before getting a nice push to the upside, in my personal opinion. So it looks like we have a little bit more downside left for AMC before getting a bounce, but I do believe we are going to recover. Again, this is where smart people are going to be buying. While the RSI is low, while we're outside of the bands at these oversold conditions, that way they can buy low and sell high. I know people are not happy with the price action. We've seen an overall downtrend so far, but I believe that we're going to get a bounce back to the upside the same way they got a bounce to the upside every time since we've been in this overall range. The lowest we went down is like this 1441 dip, and you guys can see we got a bounce right back to the upside. I believe that's going to be the case once that liquidity is grabbed up here from these buy orders that are continually here. Somebody is buying, in my personal opinion, and I think we've seen some of that proof with the volume on Friday from GME and AMC. So this is what I'm looking at for the overall meme stocks. What I'm expecting to see tomorrow is probably you're going to see a move to the downside in the morning, and I'll show you what that could potentially look like. Then you'll see a bit of recovery, and then maybe start to pull back again before bouncing in power hour. I'll most likely be live tomorrow. I'm not giving any promises about the whole day, but make sure you guys lock in, hit subscribe. That way you can get the videos and live streams. Put the bell notification on. That way it will be notified when I go live. So that's what I'm looking at for AMC, GME. meme stocks. Let's go ahead and move into the overall stock market and show you what's going here. So we got some of that bailout stimulus. Again, stocks like Nvidia, Alibaba doing good. I think Bitcoin is going up as well on the news. So some of the stocks are getting exposed to that, especially stocks with more Chinese exposure. And if you don't know what's going on, I talked about it in the beginning, but China is turning on the money printers to try to boost the economies after the recent deflationary collapse that they were just recently seeing. Now, SPY was able to break above this major key level of support and resistance of 571.15. I think that it's going to be able to hold this level and make another push to the upside. I told y'all that I think that SPY is going to be continuing up before topping out, and I said going as possibly as high as like 472, 473, maybe even 475. I think that's actually what we're about to do now. You can see that the Bollinger Bands are extremely tight. We're above the blue medium line. I think we're about to see a pop to the upside for the market, and then that pop to the upside is going to lead to a steep pullback. I believe that we're going to pop up, get a nice little blow off top, and then really start to pull back. Once we go higher, you can see RSI is already in that overbought territory in the 4-hour time frame, and it's getting very, very close on the daily time frame. And now even on the weekly time frame, it's starting to get back to that overbought territory. So this is where things start to get frothy. The market is extremely frothy, in my personal opinion. Zooming out to the monthly time frame, you can see that it's overbought. You can see here on the weekly time frame that we have this bearish divergence, price clearly trending up as RSI is trending down. This has happened on the Bitcoin market. So everyone thought Bitcoin was going to continue to go to the moon. You can see that we actually had this bearish divergence here on the weekly time frame. RSI trending down, price trending up, and that led to a steep correction in Bitcoin. I believe we're going to have a steep correction in the market, in my personal opinion. And I've explained this in great detail on why I think that, based off history with the Fed rate cuts, based off things that we've seen in 2007 before the 2008 crash. I believe that we are going to see a decent market correction, in my personal opinion, but not before another move higher. Nasdaq's getting very, very close to filling this gap fill in the daily time frame, and I told y'all that it's going to bring the whole market up as Nasdaq comes up to fill this gap. It's getting very, very close to doing so. I think once it fills this gap, it's going to push up, having a blow off top, and then getting a steep pullback, taking the market with it. So I think we're going to come up to this gap fill, maybe even go a little bit higher, but then having a steep pullback. I think that this gap fill is one of the last things that need to happen before the overall market starts to pull back after this rally that we're looking for. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall stock market. You want to see if SPY can hold the levels of 571.15, which I believe it will. And then I think it's going to push to the upside, again, giving that pop to the upside to pull back that I was looking for, in my personal opinion. And I actually think it's going to actually be an overall red week, because we're going to push up and then pull back in a decent manner, closing out an overall red week, in my personal opinion. We do have a lot of things coming up as far as data drops, which you want to be worry about and aware of. On Thursday, we have GDP, which is going to be absolutely huge. Okay, so you want to watch out for that. We have a Fed speech here on Thursday as well. And then Friday, core PCE, which is going to be huge. Personal income month over month and personal spending month over month. So huge data sets coming out on Thursday and Friday, and I believe that could lead us into some bearishness. Of course, those things could pump the market higher, but in my personal opinion, I think we're going to see bullishness in the beginning half of the week and then bearishness in the later half of the week. All right, so that's what I'm looking at there. Let's go ahead and go to BTC and then wrap up this video. So Bitcoin getting a move to the upside. I believe some of this is coming from even the China stimulus. You can see that Bitcoin is pushing up towards its previous local highs. It's back above 64,000. If it can break 64,500 and hold that level of support, then it can move towards 65,600. And that's where things can start to get interesting for BTC, because if it uses that level as support, it's getting very close to breaking out of the overall bull flag. And if we break out of this bull flag, you're going to see BTC move up towards at least 71.9K, but possibly as high as $75,000 to $80,000. And if we break out of this overall accumulation range, you're going to see another leg to the upside. upside for BTC, and I believe that's what's going to be happening. I believe that Bitcoin is actually getting ready to set up for another leg to the upside in this overall bull run that we've seen. I called this bull run way back from the bottom. I told you guys to accumulate anything under 28,000, you're going to be golden, and you can see that we had a massive move to the upside, and I believe that this is another accumulation range where you can accumulate under 60,000. It's a little bit higher now. You could still be buying now, but anything inside this bull flag would be good. And then we're going to see a much higher move to the upside. You can see that the MACD here on the weekly time frame starting to curl up. If you go ahead and go into the daily time frame, you can see that we have green daily MACD. And I believe that Bitcoin is getting on the final stages to break out of this bull flag. You can also see that Ethereum has been doing well as well. So I believe that altcoins are about to be doing well as well, especially in this lower rates environment that allows risk on trading. I believe that even if we do go into the recession that I do think is coming and starting to go into play now, I think that Bitcoin will still do good in my personal opinion. This was the daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do live streams, so you guys can go ahead and check that out if you want. If you want to support the channel in a different way, you can send a super chat or super sticker on the live streams or videos. I truly appreciate it. Or you can check out the merch store. But if you want to support for absolutely free, please just hit that like button and subscribe. And I truly appreciate y'all for watching, because I wouldn't be here without all of you watching. Just watching the channel is enough. You don't have to do any of this extra stuff, but I truly appreciate each and every one of you that have done something like that, either buying merch or sending a super chat, because I would not be here without you, because ad revenue unfortunately is not enough to sustain the YouTube channel. So I truly appreciate it. I would not be here without the DZ fam, and I always want to make sure you guys know that I'm grateful and very, very thankful for having the DZ fam and such an active community. As always, y'all, I appreciate you, man. Have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. All right, y'all, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. Yo, if you truly watch this video to the end, I appreciate it, because so few people watch the end, and that helps me out a lot if you watch the end. Leave a comment down below if you watch the end, because I truly appreciate you. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.